So, all right, we're
It's
recording.
because I went out and came back in. You were still in.
Oh, but now I can't promote Joe anymore. So,
Well, Joe's already promoted, so it doesn't matter.
well, I know, but I lost that control. I like demoting him too.
Yeah.
Does it sell cars?
All right, you're recording.
Control freak.
What?
All right, I'm going to go live on Facebook, guys. Usually takes a few seconds or minutes. All right, but it's 1 of the hour.
Hey, look, no more gray hair.
Share your group. And let's see, do the refresh.
Are we there yet?
On the lot and in the forums. With Alex, Jeff, John, and
Doogity 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 doog doog doogity doog doog.
all right, going live on Facebook.
Can y'all hear that?
Preparing the live stream. I heard nothing.
Oh, okay.
I can hear the squeaking.
Yep. That's my mouse squeak.
Mouse rolling.
All right, we should be
You know
live
what's,
on Facebook.
you know what's crazy? I'm sitting here trying to refresh the Facebook page, and I swear that over the past month, Facebook in particular has gotten incredibly slow. Might not have anything to do with net neutrality, but
Maybe nothing at all.
mm-hmm.
The Russians buying up all the bandwidth.
Right.
So it says we're live on Facebook. I typically get a text message letting me know, but I haven't received that yet.
Yeah, it's not showing yet.
I do. It's not. We've got the icon in the upper left-hand corner of Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom's a liar.
Yeah.
That's Ajit Pai, man. He's all up in our not streaming faces right now.
All right.
Huh.
Does it say we're live?
Oh, yep, it's up there now.
Oh, there we go. Fantastic.
Looks like it's doing the old not panelist view, though, so you might be right.
It's showing all of us?
Nope, just one at a time.
Oh, that's not good. Gallery view?
That's Facebook. So we're going to scream at Ajit Pai. We're going to scream at net neutrality.
Did that change anything?
Well, there's quite a delay right now.
Okay.
I'll tell you in 5 minutes.
All right.
All right. Well, maybe we should get this thing.
Yeah, let's get started. We're recording and hopefully we're live on Facebook, since that's where everybody joins us. So if you are joining us, welcome aboard. We are live, and this is our third Refresh Friday with myself, Alex. And today we're going old school, man. We jumped in the hot tub time machine and brought back some of our refreshers, our original crew. We've got John Quinn with us today and Mr. Uncle Joe Pistell. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. It's excited to have you.
Thanks.
This is going to be really scary.
I know. I'm already scared. I just don't know what to expect when the four of us get together.
There's no way to predict this one.
When the four of us get together, it does get a little scary at moments. Matter of fact, let's share my screen real quick. We've got this photo. How old is this photo?
2012.
Alex, you said it looks like all of us except for Joe, we're storing nuts for the winter.
Yeah.
Good living.
NEDA 2012, right?
Was that 2012?
I think so.
It could have been. I swear it all blends together anymore. I can't remember. I use my children's birth dates as like the point of time for reference anymore.
We could go back and figure out when E-Lead changed their name to E-Lead 1.
That's true.
Does
The
anyone
ground
know
show.
why they did that?
It's just the one. I guess everything under one piece of software. That was whenever they
You only
were
get one cookie now or something?
Yeah, one cookie, 110. I guess it's just the fact that they had, they've got so many products and features under the one CRM. I guess it made sense to encompass everything under the word one. So
12 or 13.
yeah.
By the way, Jeff, I think you're streaming to Facebook through your personal account and not Dealer Refresh.
That's not good. Are you sure?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, I'll try it again because I did choose. Definitely chose the Dealer Refresh. Technology.
Music.
All right, we'll try it again.
Dude, if you were old, man, I'd own you. Of course you are old.
Let's see if we can guess what Jeff is using for hair color these days.
Actually, there's a lot of gray in here, my man.
You're
Here on your page.
Yep, it's going to be, there's no way for him to get away from this on Refresh Friday.
Yeah, I know. It gets old.
For you.
All right, restreaming. I definitely chose Dealer Refresh. There's a lot of gray in there, trust me.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I apologize. My hair isn't gray enough for you, Quinn.
Just admit it. You're coloring. You're fighting it.
No. Oh, I do fight it. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Now
All right.
we're looking
Is that-
like we're
That should be under Dealer Refresh. I see the URL.
Yep, that's the one.
All right. So sorry about that. Anyone that's just now joining us, I accidentally went live on my personal Facebook, which not intentional, but I think we're good now. We're live on Dealer Refresh.
John, you look nice.
Facebook. John always looks nice.
Yeah.
He's like a fun bottle of wine. He just gets better with age. Look at that. No purple tie, man. You got to bring back the purple tie.
Man, I'm sorry I ever went to my sister's wedding. Oh,
Are you wearing jorts down there?
Oh goodness. Yeah, well, we said that earlier when we were live on my personal Facebook account, but it always gets crazy when the four of us get together. And we were trying to figure out what year we took that photo.
You might have to put the photo back up then.
Yeah, I probably should, right? Quick share of the screen. I don't know. It's a scary photo. Joe looks fantastic, but as you mentioned, Alex, the rest of us look like we're storing nuts for the winter.
Well, I can't take credit for that one. That was Quinn's quote there.
Oh, that was Quinn's quote?
I was just borrowing it from him.
Yeah, we all like to steal shit from Quinn whenever we can.
Yep.
The man behind the curtain, always.
Yep. Step up to the mic so we can hear you better, John.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
All right.
Fantastic. All right. Lots of people joining. Rick Buffkin says hello. We're going to be giving him a shout out a little bit later. Before we get too deep into the conversation, a little bit of housekeeping. And Alex, if you got something to add to the housekeeping, please speak up. I'm going to share my screen once again real quick. If you missed last week's Refresh Friday, you can do yourself a big favor and you can jump over to the blog, and we've got a recording. Of course, you can also grab that recording on Facebook as well. But we had a great conversation, great discussion with Joe Chura. Great timing as well, because it was just days after the announcement of Cars.com acquiring Dealer Inspire, which we all know Joe Chura is CEO and one of the founders as well. So great. It was a great Refresh Friday. And then the week before that one was our first, where as Alex returns back to camp with us. And that was another great turnout. Fantastic Refresh Friday. So if you get the opportunity, that too is also posted on the blog and of course on Facebook. So be sure to check that one out. Lots of engagement, lots of comments came out of that one. So great topics, just as we're going to be speaking about today. Some more housekeeping. we've got something that I've intended to do probably over the last 4 or 5 years. But when Dealer Refresh, we first started, if you can recall, Alex, we actually got started on TypePad.
Oh, yeah.
That was the blog, I guess the blog format that we
Can
used.
we get back to that?
Yeah, we'll go back.
Then we'll start live streaming on MySpace too. That'd be awesome.
There we go. But yeah, TypePad was what we originally used. But back then, comments were huge. We didn't have the forums. We didn't have the forums until Alex twisted my arm several times to start the forums, and then he just went ahead and went upon himself and just started the forums. And I'm like, man, this is going to be so much work if we start the forums. Obviously, no regrets. I'm glad you twisted my arm, went ahead and did it. But again, something big back then were comments. And at some point, I went from the default set of comments or features within WordPress. And back then, there was a couple different plugins out there for comments. Livefire, I think, is what we eventually went to.
Jeff, no one cares about this crap.
I know. So, but it was a good idea. It was great stuff. Anyways,
get to the point, man.
Our engagement back then. Shut up. Our engagement back then was all through the comments. We lost the comments. I got rid of them because we brought everything over into the forums. But we've always had lots of requests to get the comments. So we're going to have comments back on the blog here within the next week. But it's going to be robust. It's going to be awesome because the comments are it's actually a bridge between the forums and the blog. So we can combine posts between the two formats and share comments as well. Is that fast enough for you, Alex?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so
and it's
comments
actually really
will be
freaking
back
cool.
on the blog, and they'll also be more robust because they're going to be tied into the forums. You'll see how it.
Quinn.
Some other housekeeping hashtags are for. I'm not going to say that. That was Alex. You came up with that. I was trying to promote the hashtag, and Alex shot me down. Said screw hashtag.
Yeah, fill in the blank, boys.
Yeah. The other thing is, remember, I've still got it on screen share. Remember, deals for dealers. Alex, I'll let you drive that because this was something that we came up with years ago. Was a pretty good success. We sort of put it in the background, and now we're bringing it back up front because Alex said that's what we need to do.
Well, I said a little more than that, but the Dealer Refresh is a huge promoter of innovation, and we definitely want to see startups succeed. I believe there have been a few startups that aren't really startups anymore that Dealer Refresh might have given a hand to. I don't know.
Just a few.
Yeah,
Just a few.
Maybe that Brian Pash guy and
Jerry Tebow.
Chat, Jerry Tebow, yeah. Oh, yeah, that little company, Dealer Inspire, yeah? Was that a
Yeah, Phone Ninjas with Jerry Tebow. Anyways.
Just to name a few.
Come on, Alex, speed it up.
Anyway, go post for free if you got something to sell in here. And the big one I want to give a shout out to right now is Rick Buffkin, who I sort of strong-armed him into getting this in before the show today as fast as he possibly could.
Ooh.
He's got a little bit of a novel there, but
what's he doing? Real quick.
He basically hacked Dealer Daily, which is the the ordering system and management system for Toyota dealers, and you can pull with his little hack out of Dealer Daily a digital window sticker that can go right into your website. So if you want, like an actual window sticker of each and every new Toyota, this is pretty cool.
So, and then that's pretty much just for Toyota dealerships. He's a Toyota dealership, and I guess it's because it's hacking into the Dealer Daily, right?
Yep. And don't think of hacks as a bad thing. Hacks are actually just making something happen as a workaround. It's not necessarily like breaking into a bank.
Good work, Rick. Good work, Rick.
Yeah, that's.
I was expecting more of an ooh and an ah from you there, Joe.
Yeah. Well, ooh. Yeah, Joe, come on now. So where would that be?
Just click the window sticker right there.
He's even made it one of the main call to actions here on How about this checkered flag? Your old
Let me see it.
stomping grounds, Alex.
That is purely a coincidence.
Yeah, I just want to take a quick look at this. That's awesome. People love seeing the window sticker on the dealership website. One thing I've always been an advocate of is whenever we trade in a car, I make sure the salespeople ask the owners of the car that they're trading in, do you have the original window sticker? And because I want to be able to take a photo of that window sticker whenever we're taking photos of the cars. It just definitely builds upon the vehicle and builds the value up. So,
well, actually, it's worth mentioning because they're both here, but we got Ryan Montville from Checkered Flag listening in, and Rick.
Oh, wow.
Hey, guys. Kick-ass job.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Rick, that's awesome. So any Toyota dealerships out there, they want to get this, jump on Dealer Refresh, slide down to Deals for Dealers and reach out to Rick.
Well done, Rick. Well done.
Yeah, and let's get this started. That's awesome. So I guess that's it for our house cleaning. Some industry news. What's going on in the news, Alex?
Yeah. So we've got one news story, not nearly as big as the last one we were talking about, but still worth covering for a minute. According to Cliff Banks, who is the only news source we use.
That's it.
Seems to be the case.
That's it.
That's right. Hop on Facebook, follow Cliff.
Yeah, we give Cliff too many shout outs, I think.
Yeah.
We want something. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
So anyway, he's got an article up about some dealers who are pushing back against manufacturers who are trying to do subscription models directly to consumers. So,
So what? The
obviously, yes, that would piss you off if you were a dealer, right?
Dealerships are fearful because this could be an avenue where the OEM is able to go direct to the consumer.
Yeah.
Yep.
What type of subscription? Are we talking like rideshare or?
Just 1 monthly payment, pick a car, any car you want.
Yeah, something along those lines. Much like what the Weiler group's doing.
Cadillac's doing it.
Followed like Kevin Fry and
Mercedes is in the game. I think Volvo is another manufacturer that's jumping on that wagon as well. It's definitely a trend, but the thing is, it's also, from what I gather, it's very niche. Typically, you're talking
that was
about
French.
a monthly payment that's what, $700 to $800 a month.
Yeah.
And so not every, obviously at that point I'm thinking, demographic wise, a 6-figure income, not necessarily a family, because I know if I'm a family of 4, 5, 6, having to switch in and out of cars, any more than 4 years would be a pain in the butt. You got child seats, all that good stuff. So I don't know. It's definitely a unique concept, and it's something that's been stirring up quite a buzz in the industry. And kudos to Kevin Fry out there for, maybe being one of the pioneers of this on the dealership level. I know he's definitely getting his name out there, and I think interview after interview, I know he's a part of, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely interesting.
Yeah, if they can find a way to cut that payment in half, $800 is a lot to stomach for a car payment.
Yeah,
especially when it's just a rental.
We still have people come in. Like, I want a car payment of $350 a month.
$350 on a Mercedes?
Yeah, it's like, really.
20 grand down, no problem.
$30,000.
Can you even get a new Kia for that much?
Yeah, 3-year lease. Maybe we can work something out. But we need to get Kevin on. I know Kevin's busy right now, and he's being interviewed left and right. I figure we allow the dust to settle a little bit and wait a couple months. We'll get Kevin on here and sort of ask him about some of the initial aftermath. Find out what's going on.
Good idea.
Yeah. Joe, are you retired?
It doesn't look like it based on his whiteboard.
Look at all the Post-its. You got the Post-its. What they have an app for that now. It's the Post-it app. No, seriously, it's the Post-it app. You take a photo of your Post-it and it archives it for you. Have you seen it?
No.
No, check it out.
Cool.
I was using it there for a while. It was actually pretty handy.
Cool. You know, Weiler's, just a note on Weiler's, the fast lane I think it's a great idea. And because it's new, I think there's a company called Clutch that provides the back end that makes the whole thing work. And if that is right, then Clutch should be able to power this for any dealer anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, they can make it successful then.
Yeah. So like I used to work for Used Car King, and you know, a large used car dealer that has an incredible portfolio of cars could have a luxury segment. They just let people, you know, for a payment, choose any luxury car they want: Mercedes, Audi, you know, Cadillac. Or they could have a budget driver that's like, what does the portfolio look like at $400 a month? What kind of cars can I choose from? And they may say, oh, that's cool. You know, one day I want a pickup truck, and the next day I want a, you know, something to go downtown with.
So I went ahead and did a is it
Clutch Technology?
Clutch. Pulling this up real quick. Just subscriptions give you so much more. I mean, everything's subscription based. I've got my razors are subscription based. Who else? I mean,
yeah, we've got
Alex,
Tiffany Simonson and Cliff Banks are jumping in here saying, "Clutch, clutch, clutch! You're on the right thing." And Craig just popped up, driveclutch.com.
Cool.
Well, there's Clutch Atlanta, so maybe this is a.
I think that's where they came from.
Yeah. So you say driveclutch.com. Check it out real quick. So this is just sort of like the backbone that dealerships can use to leverage.
All right.
If they want to get into this space by themselves. Clutch link software. Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, we're definitely going to check that out a little more.
That's where all these Post-it notes came from. Everything has a reason.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas, Joe. A box, a lifetime supply of Post-it notes.
Actually, more whiteboards, please. More whiteboards.
More whiteboards.
I don't think they make enough Post-it notes.
No. Yeah, no, definitely not. So I guess that answers the question, Joe. You are not retired, and you've bought stock in Post-it notes. Hence the driving up the stocks. What else, Joe? I mean, it's been a while. What else are you playing around with?
So I left Cox in October, and I am on the sabbatical that's coming to an end. No, it's good. I went off on this adventure. I used to be a stock trader for 10 years, and machine learning is just coming on board. And I'm saying, can I learn machine learning in the interim, during the sabbatical? So I've dumped reams and reams and reams of Wall Street data into machine learning platforms and experimented with it.
And
it's a lot. So getting actionable results, not easy.
Yeah.
It's a fight. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is we put this holy grail around the automatic, around machine learning and artificial intelligence. And there's a lot of work left. We're nowhere near the robots taking over.
Like everyone predicts, right?
Right.
So if you're a human learning machine learning, is that called reverse machine learning?
Yeah. Well, I figured I was the perfect candidate because I have absolutely zero mathematical aptitude, like -0. So if I could experiment with the platforms that are out there today, and with my negative mathematical knowledge, could I create results? That could be part of my problem, but still, it was an adventure, and I spent several months doing it, and it was a great learning thing.
What did you learn exactly? What are some of the things that you learned from it?
That you can't ask a platform that has no domain knowledge to produce results that are better than a human.
That's some good timing, by the way.
You need to quote that. I know.
Well, Rick just threw up I don't know if you're watching the Facebook feed, Joe, but Rick just said, we've got to have an Uncle Joe rule somewhere in here.
Well, we've got the Uncle Joe, we've got the Uncle Joe thread, which you've sort of taken a hiatus from, which it would be exciting to see you get back on, Joe. You started that how many years ago? I think not too long after we started the dealer forums. We've got your Uncle Joe's
makeover diary.
Yeah, makeover diary. So, I mean, if you want probably one of the more interesting threads on Dealer Refresh, definitely check out Joe's ongoing diary there. It's quite entertaining.
A brain dump.
That is easy to follow as that whiteboard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The brain dump of Post-it notes and whiteboards.
Yeah. No, this is a test of your attention span.
Yeah. So speaking of attention spans, John, what's going on, buddy? Like, how's it hanging?
Whoa.
Jorts are on. No purple tie. You've retired. Like, fill us in, man.
Jeff, I think your mascara is running a little bit. You want to check the mirror?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good, man.
Let's see. I'm doing great. Hanging in there. Employed by dealer.com/dealertrack/Cox Automotive, depending on who I talk to. Right now, trying to tell anyone that'll listen that as far as the tech vendor industry goes, I think fixed ops is where it's at. Maybe
what makes you think that? Why?
Maybe I get a sense from our dealers that they're bored with the stuff that the industry is talking about. I think we're at that 20-year mark, right, where everyone's kind of the big players have been in the industry for 20 years now, and I think it's easy to run out of ideas. And if you've got 20 years of doing something, you really you know what you're doing, right? You can get very, very involved. And I think it's easy to focus on the minutia, right? This tweak there, or let's dive a little deeper into this particular segment, and that becomes a big part of your focus. And it's just harder to kind of break out of that box, So we work in an industry for the most part. For a lot of our, a lot of the people and a lot of the stuff we talk about is sales. Mm-hmm. We've done so much with sales. And we'll go to NADA, right, and we'll talk about all the latest sales things. And then I just when I talk to dealers, I get a lot of, I'm kind of bored. Like, it's not really grabbing their attention. When you talk to dealers about fixed, they really perk up, right? Their ears perk up. There's something there. I'm convinced that we are underserving that market for our dealers. I think we have some pretty good ideas, and I'm talking to anyone who will listen and see if we can get those ideas on a screen somewhere near you.
Yeah, we should definitely do a fixed theme Refresh Friday soon.
Well, and that's something, I've always wanted. I got my start, me personally got my start in the fixed op side.
Me too.
Actually, at the age of 17, I was cleaning cars. I was back in the wash bay. So and then from there went started writing service. Did that for quite a few years at the local Honda dealership. So my heart's always been on the service side. Love the service side. And when I came over to the sales side, to variable ops, it was very apparent that the two departments really didn't have too many synergies going on. And then we see that across our websites still to this day. Not a lot of synergies between the sales side and the service side. Service gets 2 or 3 pages on the dealership website, and sales gets thousands. Doesn't really make much sense.
It doesn't make much sense, especially when you consider from a customer service perspective, right? We have customers are coming to the dealership several times per year, for service, or at least we'd like them to, where we are so focused on attracting that one customer to the sales side of things that's around every 3, 5, 6, 7 years now, when I think about all the years that we've spent, trying to figure out a workflow for the online customer, trying to measure what's going on for the online sales customer, and think that really so many more people are online in market for sales, parts, service, those things that they've been pretty much ignored. All right, Alex, I'll speak up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just a sidebar, the sales department is like the maternity ward in a hospital, and the service department is like the cancer ward. No one wants to be in the service department. They go there because they have to. So there's a lot of fun and excitement about a new baby, a new car. But, to get a customer engaged into an onboarding, that's for service is more difficult.
What's really interesting, and try this in your local market. Just go on and search for struts or search for oil change in your local market area, and look at the businesses that pop up. And you can see that the businesses who really focus on fixed, your smaller independent shops, of course your Jiffy Lube type of places, they dominate that space. And I think the eye opener for dealers will be learning how much actual search traffic is, how much online traffic there is for fixed. And I think with a couple of fun things, we can start capturing more of that and better serving that online customer looking for that at the dealership.
That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. We need more for service, no doubt. Need to break down that line in the sand between the two departments too.
Well, what are some? I mean, John, what do you see offhand? What are some of the things that a dealership could quickly implement to get that process going?
Well, to quickly implement, it's hard. I guess if it was really easy, everyone would have done it already. Let's just talk about like an age-old problem, right? I started selling cars in 1996, and one of the biggest problems in a dealership was in the service department was that the phone rang too much, right?
Yeah.
This is
Isn't that still a problem?
It's still there, right? It's still there. The phone's still ringing, and we're still trying to figure out how does one person answer the phone while they're doing a walk around in the lane trying to sell, services to someone about their 15,000 mile maintenance. Haven't solved the problem. It's very expensive, to outsource that type of thing. We call them service advisors. Is anyone in the dealership? We used to call them service writers.
Service writer, yeah.
Service writers, right? But we call them advisors because we want them to have an advisory role with that customer, right? We want the customer to show up. We want there to be some rapport, some trust. We want to make a suggestion, and ultimately, we want that customer to agree with our suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
When you're constantly like this, and you have 5 different screens that you have to use to enter in, just write up an RO, it's very difficult, right? So if we can just figure out, some efficiencies, how can we make things a little bit more efficient for the writer and the customer, develop some synergies, I think we can start solving some basic problems, and that's a good way to get our foot in the door.
Agreed.
That's a way to answer the question without getting too detailed. No Cox plans being let loose by Mr. Quinn.
Well done, sir. Well done. Well played.
Thank you very much.
You just got yourself a 30-day job extension.
I'm practicing my political correctness. I've learned it all from you, Alex.
Oh, cool. I'm surprised you're not fired. So speaking of fun stuff that happened at the dealerships, how about some image superimpositions? That's a word.
Impositions.
Yeah.
So
how we superimpose a vehicle onto another image.
So
the dealership.
So we had again, we had someone from back in the day. What, Doug Davis shows up out of nowhere.
Doug Davis.
Yeah, Doug. I mean, when was the last time Doug threw a comment? Of course, he got out of the industry.
He's more retired than Joe.
Yeah, really.
Hey,
so he basically retired, I guess, Alex, you still keep in touch with him, connected with him on Facebook, and I guess last week jumped on our Refresh Fridays, and I guess just wanted to jump in and say hello to everybody, and did it in the right way by asking a question. And I mean, went sort of basic, old school, but you know, it's funny, you know, Dealer Refresh is going to be what, 14 years old this year, 13, 14. I need to go back to the archives and figure this out. It should be on my calendar. But you know, there's so many great conversations that were started.
Your anniversary with Brandy, by the way.
Yeah. Another time frame. But you know, these old conversations that, shouldn't say old, but older conversations that we started 10, 12, 13 years ago that are still relevant today. And, you know, that's one thing that's so great about Dealer Refresh is the fact that we've got these conversations that it seems like no matter what, somehow are timeless. And this being one, you know, and then, you know, asked by one of our timeless members on Dealer Refresh, Mr. Doug Davis. So, but what you're asking, let me share my screen here real quick, and we'll get to that thread, matter of fact.
Hopefully Doug tunes in, because that was one hell of an ass kissing.
Yeah.
That's the only way Doug does it, right?
The master of political.
Yeah. How often do you get your butt kissed by Jeff?
Yeah. Well, come on now. So again, dealers superimposing their pictures in front of the dealership. Basically talking about overlays. Do we go too far with it? We definitely do enough of it. When should we do it? When shouldn't we do it? All that good stuff. So he was interested, and you know, asking us dealerships out there, what do you think? Is this something that we should continue to do? Alex, you jumped in real quick and threw out four bullet points. I jumped in there. We've got Craig jumped in there. Again, just a basic question, but
well, it turned into quite a bit more for sure. So it went from just talking about how, you know,
the overlay.
Right, so is it ugly to basically Photoshop a vehicle out of an image and then stick the dealership photo behind it? You know, think of all the lighting problems and everything and how fake that looks. But then it goes into all sorts of other things like vehicle overlays, you know, and how are those problematic? And I'm going to go with yes. Yes, they are. Mainly because when you
But I want to brand myself, Alex. I want to brand the dealership. I want to make sure that we're in the customer's face.
Well, scroll back up to your little overlay there, Jeff.
Yeah, I posted our overlay at the dealership, and you know, I will say it's only on our very first image. We don't carry it through to all 40 plus images, just the very first one. And you know, there's a little bit of ego involved here.
Yeah, but the way you're doing it, this is the way to do it. You know, you've got a why buy sort of thing in your ratings. It's a CPO'd vehicle. That's good to point out. It's only on one image. And
I love it when you kiss my ass.
Yeah, yes. This has got to be a family friendly show. I was going to say something else, but so many other dealers take these overlays and they do specials and sales offers and things in them, and they carry them through all the photos. And because the data for websites, the inventory data is displayed so poorly, very few of them actually show like a section of, to steal one from Joe, hot options that people are interested in. So people have to use the photos to figure out what equipment is on the vehicle. And if there's an overlay over the photo, you can't see it sometimes. This is especially true when somebody's looking at interior images.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with those interior images and having.
I disagree.
You disagree.
You want to mess with the interior shots?
Yep.
All right, fire away.
Joe, fire away.
Scroll up to that shot of the $80,000 SUV.
This one, or
Maybe
this? Oh, this one right here. Yes.
Okay, I'm a shopper, and I just got a new job, and I got an SUV that's 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at stuffed up SUVs. I'm comparing this Chevrolet to other SUVs. What am I looking at? What's in it for me? Can somebody tell me what those buttons are and what they do for me?
So you advocate the Carvana kind of way of doing it.
Yeah, but is that so much well, I guess it is an overlay.
Yeah, okay.
You're still obstructing the image by putting something else in there other than the photo of the vehicle.
So from a consumer's point of view, they don't know cars. They just don't know cars. And so they don't know what the inside of a Chevrolet Tahoe or Suburban looks like because they used to own Fords. So, and it's been 8 years since they bought a car. All this new technology that's in this car is voodoo to them.
Mm-hmm.
And people are very visual. We force them to go down to the 1,000 features in the bullet list to try to figure out which of these features belong to that photograph. And they can't do it.
Right. On top of that, you're looking at this where the vehicle's turned off and you can't even tell whether there's Apple Play on it or the Android system or if it's a proprietary Chevrolet thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, can you mind pulling up Carvana?
Ooh, might take a while to load, but yeah, we'll give it
You got a fresh new internet connection, I hear.
No. Yeah. Doesn't help the case.
Well, we can go back and thank Ajit Pai for some of that too.
Steve Stoning just weighed in and he agrees with me, so that makes me double right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Some more.
Can I play devil's advocate, Joe?
Always.
To do? I mean, what is the point of that picture? Is the point of that picture to educate everybody about every feature, or is it to evince an emotional connection, with this car, right?
Yeah,
Look
yes.
how clean it is.
Yes.
Look how sophisticated this car looks. Boy, I'd like to see more of that car.
Yes.
I'd like to see me inside of that car.
You're right on the money.
I'm not sure, if you're gonna clutter up the space there, right? You might lose that aesthetic for which the picture may have been intended.
From a product designer's point of view, you're money. Every comment you made is right on the money. Don't get in the way of the shopper, but also don't make them think. So you got to come up with a UI that informs and engages. So you got to come up with a hover over state, a second image, some sort of experience that gets the energy going, the emotional energy going, and informs at the same time. Because if I'm buying a car and it doesn't have Apple Play, and I don't see it, I'm going to assume the car doesn't have it.
Yeah, so the photos are doing a lot more than creating the emotional experience that we're hoping for. They're actually the product brochure in itself.
Yep.
So yeah, look. So if you scroll back up, Jeff, one of the things that Carvana has done is they'll take you through the vehicle images, but if you switch to the interior, they do a pretty neat job of walking you through.
Yeah, I like this. This is cool.
Yeah. I mean, what does it cost to set up a booth like this and all the stuff that they're doing here? But
how much?
I don't know, but
7G?
It's probably more than most want to invest.
Well, Joe is spitting out numbers. I know he's set up quite a few booths, if I'm not mistaken.
The word is from my dealers that have talked to these people at 7 figures, over $1 million.
7 figures.
Here, click one of those, Jeff.
Navigation. Wow.
And then you can just cycle through.
Yeah.
Now, it's not to say that you couldn't take a static image that exists on a dealer website right now and have like pixel coordinates where you could then, say somebody clicks this spot in the photo, it does precisely this. It might not zoom in and everything like that, but it's doable for sure.
So like, from the vendor's point of view, we have structured data. This is a 2015 Cadillac ESV Platinum. So we're in the interior of this known vehicle with a known inventory of features, and we're looking at what looks like the stack, the instrument stack. Mm-hmm. So all we have to do is bring back the data that's in that instrument stack, the options and features, and then bring it into the photograph. So this can be automated potentially.
Who's gonna bring that to market first?
Joe, that's what he's been working on.
That's just one of these Post-it notes.
That's his AI piece. I guess that would fall under here.
Steve brings up a good point. We're talking about Carvana and how they display vehicles, and he says now if they could just turn a profit, and I agree with you. It's that leads down a totally different path of like, do vehicles sell online?
Oh boy.
Do they?
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, well, eBay Motors and Carvana are the ones sort of doing this, and eBay Motors has been at it for a long time. It's still like less than 1% of all sales.
0.0001%.
Yeah, really low.
Yeah, ridiculously low. It's all Carvana's, my opinion, strictly no science. All Carvana's doing is peeling off the cream off the top of the marketplace that would prefer to buy without a dealer. That leaves 99.993% of the rest of the audience that still wants to go to a dealer and sit in that Cadillac before they buy it.
Right.
Well, and what was it? I think it was AutoTrader just did a study a couple months ago. I'm actually in the middle of working on an article I hope to have published maybe this evening or early next week. And of course, their finding is that majority of consumers do not want to purchase a vehicle online. They still want to walk into the dealership. They still want to sit in the car. They still want to speak to a salesperson or some type of representative before signing the paperwork.
Look, parts of buying a car are fun. Everyone likes to complain, and yeah, it takes too long, but
everyone complains about it. But at the end of the day,
some of it is fun.
True?
Yeah, some of it is fun.
Some of it is, for sure.
Go in and drive a new car, see a new car, it's not all that bad.
So,
I guess the bathroom had a calling for Jeff.
Bye, Jeff.
45 million.
I hope he muted.
What's the number last year? 45 million transactions, something along those lines.
There you go.
It can't be all that bad.
Right.
So one of my
sorry, I'm still laughing at Jeff.
Dude, if you were old,
when duty calls, duty calls. Come on now.
If you were old, I'd blame that on you.
He had a hair out of place. He had to go fix it.
Right there.
So why customers don't like car dealers? Because they don't like to be wrong. They have to get in there and ask for the best price, and they don't like that, because if they don't aggressively and firmly speak about wanting the lowest price, then they may not get it, and so they don't like that uncomfortableness. But it is we all know buyers are liars, and they'll twist and turn and lie and cheat, and the car is fine, it's never given me any trouble, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I should get $6,000 for it.
Meanwhile, you pull up the Carfax, and tells a different story.
So, to me, I think for the car space, I'm sales now, not fixed. In the sales process, we emulate or copy what Best Buy is doing to very closely. Best Buy was threatened to a near-death experience from Amazon, and they fought their way back by completely reorienting themselves to live in the Amazon world. And they're beating them. So same-store sales are up, their stock's at an all-time high, and Amazon couldn't crack it because of the same things that happen in our space. Customers want to go in and touch, and see, and feel, and ask questions.
Well, the sales tax laws that are being hit with online, or online retailers are being hit with now, didn't hurt Best Buy either.
Yeah, but that isn't something that caused the stock to appreciate several 100% over 5 years.
Yeah, agreed.
So
there's more to it than that, but yeah, that
so
definitely.
that sales tax advantage is going to be an additional boost to Best Buy. So I
started shopping there again.
Yeah. What, Best Buy?
Yeah.
I like my rewards card.
Yeah.
So how many of us go to buy watch the parallels in car? We going to go buy a flat screen. We do all this homework, go to all these websites, collect all the information, stick it in our back pocket. We walk into the Best Buy store and we see the flat screens and we start going, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Or the open box buy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, all this research in my back pocket is now, I don't even look at it anymore. And I try to, Toshiba number 1743. Do you look at that Panasonic? Wow. Right. And so that's happened.
No, it happens all the time. You're absolutely right.
For a nav and GPS for the same payment? Uh-oh.
Right.
Cool.
So we had a couple other things we were going to jump on today, but maybe in the interest of time, we maybe hit on one more. Something that I think all of us can weigh in on is the location as an ad source in CRM. Does that sound like a fun one for y'all?
That's always fun.
Or do you want to go for the clash for clunkers, as Jeff liked to call it earlier?
Well, the big thing with that was just, I guess we brought that. That was our Tuesday thing. You've got the hashtag for that one, right? Bring it back Tuesday. Alex?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw a middle finger out to Steve Stawning here in a minute.
No, I mean, it was just something that you brought back up when the cash for clunkers. We don't need to go in depth with that, but something every Tuesday, Alex goes into the archive and finds one of those discussions that just went crazy. And some of them are still relevant. Most of them are. Maybe we'll see a cash for clunkers again someday. But if you want some entertainment, it's there's an old thread that's how many pages long that you can go through, you can read, and entertain yourself. It's always interesting. And I don't know how you do it, Alex, but you go in there and you go into the archives and you find some interesting old threads.
You have time for a 2-minute clunker story?
Sure.
Yeah. Whenever I think about cash for clunkers, I think about almonds. Believe it or not.
Almonds, like the nut.
The nut. And for clunkers, I remember the morning that the rules came out. They were published online, and I just jumped in and I absorbed all of it that I could. And we had a pretty big dealership. I just became the lead point for clunkers, and we developed a process where we were going to spot all these cars. If you remember all the difficulties of dealers weren't getting paid, but long story short, we were going to spot these cars as long as I signed off on all the paperwork. Then we got crazy. And I can't remember if it was a Thursday or Friday or Saturday, but I'd been there for days and days. And Motor World sells, we probably sold maybe 800 cars that month, right? Not all clunkers, but just in total. But hundreds and hundreds of clunker deals. And I can remember, just not being able to move. People lined up outside my office waiting for me to sign off on all the paperwork. If you remember, there was just a pile of stuff that you had to have from the customer in order to get reimbursed this money. So I would okay all these deals and go. And I
you could only get it through at like 2 a.m.
Oh, sure. I remember my boss, Rick, coming in one night, and I hope you see this, Rick. Rick Olsen, right, Rick? And he's leaving for the night. It's maybe, 6 or so, and he goes, "You need anything?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm starving. I haven't been able to break for lunch, for dinner, for nothing." And I said, "It's going to be a long night." I said, "So if you happen to swing by later, and he says, "Okay, yeah, no problem." So I remember a couple hours later, here comes Rick, and what does he have for me? Half a cup of styrofoam cup filled with almonds. Hey, I brought you these almonds. I thought,
what a guy.
Thanks, Rick.
They were the only thing left over in the break room.
So Rick didn't forget me. He brought me some almonds, and that's one of my favorite memories for Cash for Clunkers.
That's your memory. Styrofoam cup full of almonds.
Almonds. Oh, I'm sorry. They were delicious. They were the best almonds I've ever eaten.
Great story, John. I don't know what to say. I don't know how we follow up with that.
Well, we know what to give John for gifts from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a whole Christmas list here.
When the purple pie thing runs out, we can move on to almonds.
Oh, there's a long list of other things we can run on to, John.
Oh, yeah.
How's the sap flowing right now, by the way?
In your closet too, Alex. So,
So before we wrap it up, Alex, you brought up the online within our CRM and the worst advertising source being location, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have to question why that still exists today.
why is it still in the CRM, or why do salespeople still choose it?
Oh, we know why salespeople choose it.
Well,
but with the kind of data we have now, especially if you sell a car, you've got somebody's address. It's easy enough to come up with a market area around the store.
mm-hmm.
And know, okay, they live 2 blocks away from you. So yes, location definitely had something to do with the what brought them in. If they live 40 miles away from you, then hey, that wasn't a location deal. Something else caught their attention.
Yeah.
So maybe I think it's time for that one to die.
Maybe something online,
Right.
Or, you know what? Chances are they were fat fingering through the phone book, and that's how they came about.
No, it was the address in the newspaper.
Well, how do we get rid of that? And do you just remove it, or for me, it's just I just allowed it in there because if they don't choose that, they're going to choose something else stupid or not relevant. So
if you have to have an ad source in the CRM, if it's a required point for a new customer entry, and it only gives you one ad source to add at that, you should just have bypass this stupid bullshit as your ad source, and there you go. John, you've been trying to say something.
Or maybe just I forgot to ask.
I'm just thinking one of the question Jeff asked is, why is it still there? And it's surprising to me, given, all the recent new products and new innovation in the CRM space that really still exists.
Yeah, and it does.
We took it out of the dealer.com CRM, didn't we, John?
We had the ability. We didn't make it mandatory.
That's right. That's what it was.
That I think that's the real issue. Is like if you're going to force your people to put something in, you're just going to get crap, and that is what you get. What I was experiment years ago with a AAA magazine, and I remember the experiment. Like, wow, look at all of the AAA magazine, all of the advertising. Man, that's the best thing in the world. Well, it's the first in the alphabetical list, so that's the one that got all the clicks, so very, very hard to believe any data that you're forcing your salespeople to collect.
Well, I guess that was my question, was how, like a lot of CRMs, I guess they are alphabetical, right? So whenever you choose the box there for your ad source, if you want location to be harder to find, maybe you make it X, so it's Z dash location. So then they have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to get to it, which at that point, maybe it truly was location because they went through all that effort to get all the way down to the bottom of the ad sources.
Well, it still doesn't get around. The customer doesn't even know what brought them in most of the time.
No, they don't. They don't.
So, here's a question. Let's say that location.
They were on the purple site.
Let's say that location.
but yet the phone call came from the orange site.
Okay, so let's say location is the reason, and they're really doing a great job of picking this thing, and the customer says, "Yeah, I'm here because you're in location." What action are we going to take from this anyway? I mean, what's the point?
Well, you're right. I mean, at that point, I guess you're talking
I
about.
don't have to advertise anymore, right? Because my location does it all for me.
In the meantime, your TrueCar rep's in there teaching all the sales agents to click off TrueCar.
Yeah.
My TrueCar rep was just here today.
If I was your TrueCar rep, that's what I'd be doing.
Look at all the new
they get paid on all the sales, by the way.
You say there's the swag
for those listening.
desk right there. Yep.
Is that still the case? Do they still take a cut of the sale?
Or
is that an option?
Yeah. No, I think it depends on the state. Because I know in the state of Maryland, there is no, I guess it's the bird dog, whatever they call it, where
Chip Perry's struggling.
No, I'm sure he's not.
Sorry, his stock is. His investors are. They're not happy.
Yeah, I haven't followed that. But anyways, brain fart. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Bird dog laws are
the bird dog laws.
Yeah. Virginia has that too.
Yes. So with TrueCar for us, it is it's just a flat fee. And they basically estimate how many leads we're going to get. And that's how they do it. Matter of fact, we had them in here today because they decided to basically double their fees.
That always goes over well.
Yeah. It didn't really, there was no really welcome mat before the increase. And it was just like, oh, by the way, here's your invoice and here's the increase. Bend
over, please.
Yeah, bend over, which is fine. It's a great time to invite them into the dealership and sit down, go over the reports, look at the ROI. Again, how do you really calculate the ROI on something like that, attribution wise? Lots of theories out there.
You think Chip Perry would want to come on the Refresh Friday?
Chip.
He's been so nice to his efforts in the past.
I'd never put it past Chip. Let's be for real, Alex. You and I weren't the nicest, the nicest media output out there when it came down to AutoTrader. But I will say, with that being said,
they did listen and change their tactics. So,
well, I don't know if we were maybe a driving force behind that. Maybe we helped. But I will say, no matter what, we would not talk very nice about AutoTrader, and yet I was still invited to several of their internal summits. And Chip Perry would always walk up to me, always shake my hand, always thank me for being a part of the internal summit, always just was a stand-up guy, and would always thank me, would thank you just for doing what we do back then. So you know what? He probably would, So who knows?
Say on that note, looking back, don't regret anything we did as car dealers in talking bad about the Blitz, their way of selling AutoTrader.com and whatnot. But
yeah,
now that I've been a Cox employee, it seems like there were some very strong sales tactics that worked very well for that product back then. So from a business standpoint, good job, Chip. But,
yeah. Yeah, for sure. No doubt. But again, always a stand-up guy. So it's, it's not like some of the others out there. And Alex, you were always had a knack for doing the April Fool's jokes. But we'll keep that for I can't tell you how many times I receive some paperwork through the mail, some threatening to be sued, and I'm like, thank you, Alex, that April Fool's joke went down quite well. Again, another time for another
Mike
segment.
Roscoe.
Yeah, so it's 2:00. Let's wrap this up. John, Joe, thank you so much for being a part of today's Refresh Friday. I hope everyone got something out of this. I mean, for us, it's just about the banter and sitting here and talking about great times. At the same time, bringing up some of the conversations and discussions that help dealerships sell more cars today, tomorrow, next month. If you're not a part of Dealer Refresh,
how about sell more service?
Yes, always about selling more service. If you're not part of Dealer Refresh and you've been one of those lurkers, which happens a lot. I mean, I had just received an email last week from a lurker of 8 years. He goes, I've been on Dealer Refresh literally for 8 years, and I have yet to sign up. And I'm like, he's not the only one. There's a lot of them out there. But do us a big favor. If you are a lurker, go ahead and sign up. Just fill out the information. Become part of the community. Post a question. Answer some questions. That's what it's all about. That's what Dealer Refresh is all about. That's how we got started. And, we want to know who the community is. We're not going to spam you or anything like that, at least not on purpose. And, we value that. So please jump in there, sign up the form, and be a part of the community. So with that being said, I think we can bring it to an end. It's 2 after 4, probably one of our longer Refresh Fridays. Hopefully we didn't lose anybody by looking at the live stream comments and such. I don't think we did. So that's fantastic. Yeah. Alex, did you have any?
Thanks, Jeff and Joe and John, all the 3 J's.
Yeah, how about that? 3 J's.
I'm surrounded by J's.
This is the automotive Rat Pack.
Hey, is anybody going to Digital Dealer?
Which one? The one coming up? Is that in Orlando?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I do know if you jump on Dealer Refresh, we do have a money savings code that you can use. Save yourself a few $100.
Today's the last day of the discount too.
Yes.
Oh, do it now.
Get on it.
Get on it now. Are you guys going?
I am.
You are going.
Yeah.
Well, that right there, I mean, that's all the reason to go. Quinn, you're going to be there.
I'll be in Irvine all next week.
All right. And Alex, you're not going.
I haven't been in some time.
I know. I haven't been to a digital dealer in quite a while. So, but with that being said, we here in the near future, we do need to do whether it's a driving sales, digital dealer. And then I got a phone call from Joe Webb earlier this week asking me if I have any interest in rebooting the dealer think tank, which could be fun and interesting. But again, I'd love to do maybe a Dealer Refresh get together at one of these shows. Maybe we can get a sponsor or two to help fund it and have some fun with it. So we'll check into that and see what happens. Again, Joe, thanks. John, thanks. Alex, of course. Let's bring it to an end. Love you guys. Talk soon. Peace out.
See ya.
Yeah.